Here, I know they keep making the same movie. If it succeeds, they do 10 more of them.
I know.
You know, and it's got to be frustrating as an actor to have to.
I think it's frustrating as an audience
Yeah.
because you're seeing the same thing over and over.
I know.
I want to be refreshed in something, taking the risk of seeing something new.
Yeah.
I might be disappointed, but at least I took the risk of seeing something new.
So you're not going to, although you've done big budget movies. I mean, Godzilla doesn't
Yeah,
get bigger
but
than
that
that.
was easy because I shot about 3 days.
Oh. And Godzilla did the rest, huh?
Exactly.
Un poète chinois du XIe siècle a obéi à une règle toute sa vie. Il travaille une année entière et l'année d'après, la consacre entièrement à sa femme. J'aurais dû suivre son exemple.
Dans ce que vous venez de dire, il y a plusieurs mots qui ne vont pas. Par exemple, vous n'êtes ni poète, ni chinois.
Je ne suis pas poète.
Le Napoléon de la gastronomie, le prince, le roi, et tant d'autres qualificatifs, mais pas poète.
Disons que... pas encore.
Welcome to the actor's side. Oh, today, you know, when I talk about an international star, I'm not kidding here. Just listen to some of the awards she's won. The European Film Award, the César Award, in fact, 11 César nominations. That's the French Oscar. The Volpi Cup, which is Best Actress at Venice. The Cannes Film Festival Best Actress winner here. The BAFTA, British Academy Award. Nominations from the David di Donatello in Italy and the Goya in Spain. You can go on. And of course, she's an Oscar winner for The English Patient. Truly, truly a global film star, and it's such an honor to welcome Juliet Binoche. What do you think when I reel off all of that?
And I try to ignore it because it's too heavy.
It's wild, huh? I mean...
Yeah, but I've been around for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I've been acting for more than 40 years. So
I know. Actually, I think exactly your film debut was 40 years ago this year, 1983, something like that. So,
84.
84.
Yeah,
So
I shot in, but it came out in 85.
yeah.
Yeah.
So very close, 40 years.
Yeah.
What do you think when you've had that long and successful a career?
You know, what counts in life is present time because that's where it's happening.
That
So
is right.
I'm not thinking of the past that much, even though I love remembering some of the moments, you know, I've been going through some great moments of films, you know, with directors and actors and crew and traveling around and seeing amazing countryside and all. But mainly what it is, it's being in the present time that matters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you
And
know,
in acting, it's really what it is.
yeah,
Is that when it's happening, when it's rolling,
yeah,
and you enter into a place that you're discovering and while you're doing it,
yeah.
and you make films like that, being in the present,
Yeah.
being present in the present.
But those movies, and I was going to do this later, but I'm going to do it now. So I pulled this out, and this is from your bio. Look at this. When you look at all these films and all that, the memories that come, I think, with making these movies, you know, you say you live in the present, and it's always the next one for you, though?
No, it's the present. So it's
Yeah.
not the next one.
Not
It's
even
in
the
the
next
present
one.
one.
Well, we know the present one is, I don't know. Do you like, which title do you like better? It's The Taste of Things here, and it's Pot au Feu, which I loved.
Pot au Feu, but there's in Paris, it's in France, it's La Passion
Uh-huh.
de Dodin Bouffon.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
La Passion, the passion of the main character, Dodin Bouffon.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great. It just opened in France, didn't it?
It opened, a week ago.
Well, yeah. What's been the reaction there to it?
Well, it's been very positive because people are going to see the movie, and it's a yummy film.
Yeah.
And
It's all about food, folks.
it's all and love.
And love, yes.
Yeah. And I would say love before food,
Oh,
or the
okay.
love of food. There's a big connection between love and food. Yeah,
It's a big
in the film.
debate too, because some people go like, well, what is it with their relationship? Is it food first, or love first, or a combination? What do you think
Well,
drives it?
they have this completion, working together
Yeah.
and completing each other's work in a way, and food is part of it, or gastronomy is part of it. And Dodin is the one having the idea, making the recipes in a sort of a vision, and my character Eugénie, who's a cook,
Yeah.
makes it real. And it's very much what happens between a director and an actor.
Ah.
You know, the director having the idea and writing it down, and the actor reading it and making it something that makes it real, precious, and special, and truthful.
What about this director? He's Vietnamese, Tran Anh Hung, and I've heard you say in the past, director is key for you in signing on to movies.
Well, I met with him, and I liked the way he was just listening or talking. He's very respectful, and he has a sort of shyness
Yeah.
to him that I like very much, because it's subtle, and I really felt that while we were shooting. But he's very strong at the same. He looks fragile physically, but he's very strong behind.
Yes, I met him. He's charming, I thought.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
of course he won Best Director at Cannes for this film. What when you're making a movie that has so much food and it's so integral and it's so choreographed, so much of the way the food is shown here and all of that, was that a challenge, or you cook, I'm assuming you do all of that, but maybe not the way Eugenie does here.
Yeah, I learned with a specialist of cooking, the right hand of Pierre Gagnère.
Yeah.
But I mean, the food is important, but it's the seasons are important, the colors are important, the smell, the taste, the textures. It's in this environment. It's more about an ensemble in nature, in another kind of pace. You can sit back and feel and listen and look at leaves in the wind, and
Yeah.
it's all about loving also life in a different way. It's slowing down your pace as a citizen, for example.
Right.
Very much so. But I think mainly the film is about love, because it's this, my character is going through a denying of a tragedy in a way, because there's illness underneath, and so she might go soon. So it does concentrate the need of love even more, and the need of giving oneself through an art form, and or through something anyway.
Right.
And there it's about cooking. It's about making something together. But at a certain point, there's a reverse situation. It's like he's cooking for
Yeah.
her, and I think as a woman, when a man is cooking, is very endearing, because it's often we see women cooking more often.
Yes, in
And-
cinema that has been the case. Although there's many, the greatest chefs in the world seem to be men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not fair, because all the women, all the mothers are cooking, and meanwhile the chef are
They
being
got their own TV
yeah,
shows.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. We know that one.
Yeah, right. Well, however you did it here, I love the way the film opened. It opens in nature. You're picking out the stuff there, just as you were talking
Not
about.
stuff.
Well, no.
Celery.
Yeah.
It's specific.
Your director called this, in his opinion, a quintessentially French movie. He thinks everything about it is French in every way. Would you agree, being French yourself?
Yeah, I think he really captured something of the French culture in literature, because of the dialogue, the way it's written, and also the love for details in l'art de la table, we say, you know, the art of the table.
Yeah.
The gastronomy is considered as a culinary art, and that's really part of our culture. And also the time of conversation. It's well known for l'art de la conversation, the art of conversation. So when you see all the men speaking to each other
Right,
and
yeah.
commenting, and a lot of conversations in France is about food. Sometimes it's a little boring because it goes around, you know, it goes in circle talking about food and how well it's been cooked or what we needed to have add more, or, you know. But it's, I think he really embraced the culture. He came to France. Our director Trananung, he came when he was 8 years old and needed to, you know, embrace this culture because it was going to be his new life.
Yeah. He also said that when he said cut and stopped the cameras rolling, that the actors continued eating. And was that true?
Well, I was not with the men eating, as you
Oh,
know. I
yeah.
stay in
Yeah, you
in
were
the
in the
kitchen.
other room.
No, I'm cooking. I'm
Yeah.
downstairs cooking.
Yeah, he said that was a problem because they had to get the, you know, back and not eat all the food. But it really is, you know, there's a subgenre. They call it the foodie movies, but this one rises way above that, I think. Maybe it's because it's all real too. It's not fake, right?
Yeah. You didn't have any phony food on the
Yeah.
on the set. It was whom really the director really wanted us to experience every single bite as being a real one from
Yeah.
Pierre Gagnère cooking, but that was also very historically prepared and checked, that we were really having the same kind of dishes that they had at the time, because it's set at the end of 19th century.
Right.
So everything was really like it was,
Yeah.
and cooked the way it was, and that was really something that we discovered as we were going, as we were rehearsing the film and shooting the film.
It's based on a book, 1924. The book is different in that, well, not to give too much away here, but with your character, it's complete opposite.
Yeah. Well, the film is a prequel to the story, to the actual novel.
Yeah.
And so probably because I pushed home, because I read the first script.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I would love to work with you because you're an amazing director, but you need to give a little bit of space for this woman character because I was disappearing too soon. And so he rewrote some of it, and
That's
we
how that
shot-
came about.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's part of it, and also because it's this film is it's a film dedicated to his wife,
Mm-hmm.
who's a wonderful cook.
Yeah.
And who works with him as well. She's an art director as well as a costume designer in the
Oh,
film.
cool.
So it came together as you know, a sort of a gift for the couple in a way.
Yeah. Do you like, you've done so many films around the world, like I mentioned, all over the place. And do you like making the films in France the best? Or is that where you constantly return to?
I don't mind.
You don't mind? You like doing them everywhere?
I like doing meaningful films.
Right.
And films that are challenging too. I love that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not defined by the country where it's made.
Right, yeah. I have always said, and I've seen it at many different places over the years, but The Unbearable Lightness of Being is one of my favorite films that you had done too. And that was one of your first maybe English language pictures,
Yeah,
right?
it was the first one. Yeah.
Did you speak English well at the time, or?
I thought I did.
Yeah.
Probably not, but I thought I did pretty okay.
It comes off very nicely in the movie, yeah. But Phil Kaufman, great director there, and that was just a perfect movie in my opinion. I saw it not too long ago in a theater. They had a revival of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. When you look back, and I know you don't want to look back, you want to look at the present though, but all of these movies that you've done, does one stand out in your mind over the other, or is it, you know, one that just...
Well, Blue was special,
Yeah.
I think. and
Kieslowski's. You did cameos in the other two, right? Of that.
well, yeah, no, well, we shot blue
Yeah.
and we shot some of the scenes that are in white and,
And white and
red
red.
while we were doing blue. So it's
Oh,
not, yeah.
okay. That's interesting.
And
Yeah.
no, I mean, each film is meaningful to me.
Right.
I didn't do a film just to make a film. I made a choice. Sometimes, you know, it was not as good as I wish it was, but each time I tried the best I could on the spot, you know. And,
Yeah.
and I think that I was lucky to work with, you know, very different and amazing directors and actors as well. And that's it creates a sort of body of work.
Yeah.
And a reference in a way for me when I'm acting. I know what I don't want to do anymore, and I know, you know, where it's interesting to me.
You know what you don't want to do. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What don't you want to do?
I don't want to repeat myself.
Ah. It's as simple as that,
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to repeat myself. I want to be involved in emotionally and taking risks. So what does it mean? Is to go into a place you've never been before.
Right. Yeah.
And to learn something.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't always know, I don't always know why I say yes to a project. And sometimes I discover while I'm doing it, because there's a part of the unconscious that works when you say yes or no.
Right.
And you have to go with your gut feeling, with your intuition.
Yeah.
It's not all in the head deciding. It has to be something you feel that you have to do this or that or something else.
Something I've always wanted to ask you, because I thought it was one of the greatest speeches I've ever heard at the Oscars. It's most charming and heartfelt. You know this because you look like you were shocked that you won. I mean, genuinely. And you mentioned Lauren Bacall, who was nominated, and everyone, pundits and everyone.
I wanted to give it to her. Yeah.
Yeah, they thought
absolutely. If she had raised her arm, I would have given to her.
Oh, that's
yeah. Well, that's my instinct, you know. It was, but I don't think my speech was particularly good.
I'll tell you what was great about it. You said, as you were walking off, you said, "It's like a dream," and then you go, "A French dream."
Well, it felt like a dream. It felt really like a dream. It's like unreal to me. And it's true that, don't you think it's unreal? I think it's still unreal.
You know, you never know. It was like she had never been nominated. She is a legendary star. She was awfully good in that movie, but so were you. And, you know, it happened, you know, and but you looked like you didn't believe it was going to happen. And I just thought that was so natural.
I was so calm.
Really? You
I
could
was
walk in
very
and go,
calm.
"Well, I'm not going to win," you know.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, I even experienced while they were giving our names, there's sort of a calm that it gave me an image of a very deep, profound lake inside my belly of calm, of serenity. So that's why when I never experienced something like that. As I was very nervous I gave the costume designer best Oscar, and my heart was beating like crazy. And it was awful. I was so frightened. It was like I felt like I ran a terrible back and forth, you know, and I was out of breath.
Oh my God.
As for getting when they gave the names and all that, I was totally calm and detached. Not detached emotionally, but I was like, like I was saved.
Yeah. Well, that was a wonderful movie too, The English Patient.
Yeah.
Anthony, the late great Anthony Minghella, and with Ray Fiennes, who you'd worked with before. You've worked with many actors and other things. I have to ask about Benoit Magimel, your co-star here, who you obviously had a relationship with and share a child. You were first on in this movie, I understand, from the director. He had you in mind right from the beginning.
Right.
And then he brought him in. Did he talk to you or say, how is this
Well,
going
we
to
were looking for an actor, and they kept dropping the project.
be?
And so 2 weeks before shooting, we didn't have the actor.
Oh, wow.
And so finally they said, is that okay if we give the script to Benoit? And I said, yes. And I said, well, probably he's going to say no, but never mind. You can try. We're really at the edge of stopping everything.
Yeah.
And finally he said yes. And I was so happy. First of all, he's a gourmet. You know, he loves cooking. He loves eating. And I was thrilled that he agreed to do, you know, tell the story together.
Right.
It was
yeah.
a big surprise to me.
And obviously, you know, 20 years apart of the last time you probably worked with him. Or,
Yeah.
Does it just come back like that? The chemistry is clearly there in this movie. I mean, you cannot make up, in my opinion, you can't make up chemistry. It's either there or it's not there.
Right.
And it's there.
Yeah. I mean, I used in a way the script in order to tell him everything I had in my heart
Yeah.
that I wanted to tell him. I never was able to tell him, really,
wow.
because relationships are complicated and separations are complicated. And so there was a lot of non-said things. And I think my way of saying it without hurting him or taking the risk, somehow I was guarded because it was Hung's words. It was the director's screenplay. And
Right.
so I was able to use those words like bridges to reach him and say, you know what? I love you. Whatever happened, I just love you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because your character here, he wants to marry and you won't do it. And there's that in this movie, which is
Yeah. It's special. Yeah. But for me, it was like a gift to our daughter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a way to give her a big wink and say, see, your
Yeah.
parents get along and they love each other.
What did she think of it when she saw
She was overwhelmed. She was surprised
Yeah.
how overwhelmed she was,
Really?
and
Yeah.
somehow resisted watching it because we invited her to come and see it at Cannes, and she didn't want to come. And then there were other screenings she didn't want to go, and
Oh my.
until she finally saw it not a long time ago, like a week and a half ago,
Wow.
and was very moved by it. And I think it healed something. I think it healed something in all of us.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. I can tell you the effect it had on my wife. I kept saying, you got to see this movie. But I never know. Half the time I tell her she's going to love something and she doesn't. And then, but this, she so specifically said, ask her about the pear. You know, which is a great thing. I mean, you know, it's beautifully done, you know, the scene. And
Well, because what the planet gives us is very central.
yeah.
That everything that is coming out of the trees or coming out of the earth, there's something that is given.
Yeah.
It's sensual. It's full. It's generous, and we are matter as well that
Right.
we have to lift into, you know, higher than just matter.
Right.
And I think cooking is that as well. We have to lift it into another place. There's when you eat something on the plate and it's totally flat, there's no flavor.
Right.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It makes you pissed off because it's not fair. It should have some taste,
That's
but not tasted added. Taste
Right.
from the item itself,
Yeah.
from the veggies or
Right.
whatever you're eating, but it needs to come from within.
Yeah.
And but there's a sensuality that
Yeah.
comes with what's given from, you know, to us from
Oh,
here.
truly, that
Yeah.
comes out in that scene and many others. And the omelet scene is where you're sharing an omelet. Is
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they have their pace,
Right.
their way of doing it, and I learned from Pierre Gagnère that actually you recognize a good apprentice or cook the way they do omelettes.
Right.
And usually when they invite a new cook inside of the kitchen, they ask to do the omelette. And if it's well done, they can get in. Otherwise, it's
Wow.
the exam thing.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to do an omelette over and over and over to make it right, because that's what I'm given to
Right.
Dodin in the morning in the film.
And well, it looks good on film, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Have you taken any of these things that you learned here now into your own life, and it's changed
When
the
I do the omelette, I think about the way I was taught by the right hand of the Pierre Gagnère, the
Yeah.
chef that helped for the film. But there are a lot of recipes that I learned, but a lot of them I forgot as well, because you've got to do it over and over and over so it gets in your blood.
Yeah.
And I don't have that time. So, but I have the book that they gave me with all
Oh.
the recipes. So I'm hoping that one day I'll have time to do it.
Oh, that's great. Well, you know, can't wait for people to see this movie, which is coming out, I believe, next year here in America. It's going to open.
It's going to start opening, I think, the 8th of December.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah.
It opens to qualify for all the awards and things, and then it will roll out, and
Afterwards, yeah.
people have a treat in store. There's no question. And so nice talking to you, Juliet Binoche.
Nice talking
Thank
to
you
you.
for coming
Yeah.
in and giving us the actor's side of things. Thank you.
Thank you.